Good evening, bear enjoyers. My name is Walnut, and welcome to the second half of my Five Nights at Freddy's music yap session. Make sure to check out part 1 of this video where I discuss some older Fnaf songs, but I'm not here to waste time. Today we're talking about music based on the modern era of Fnaf titles. That's Help Wanted, Help Wanted's Curse of Dreadbear DLC, Security Breach, That Game's Ruin DLC, Help Wanted 2, Into the Pit, and the latest, and quite possibly greatest Fnaf game, Secret of the Mimic. I'll be picking one song for each game, just like before, but this time I've decided to count major story DLCs separately, with their own songs. I did this because these DLCs are often very different from the main game tonally, and not giving them their own time in the spotlight would be kind of silly. Once again, I plead that you go down to the description and check out these talented creators yourself. These people worked way too hard to have their work reduced down to some cliff notes. So, without further ado, let's start with... After Ultimate Custom Night, Steelwool Studios was tasked with creating a virtual reality Fnaf game, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. A simple collection of remakes of the first 3 games in VR, plus a couple original minigames to add value to the price tag. Nothing more, right?
Wrong!
Turns out this game has a completely original story. It's a soft reboot of the series. The song that I feel represents this new beginning best is Back Together by the Stupendium. Stoops cooked hard on this song. The lyrics, the instrumental, the lyrics, the art, the lyrics. It feels so much like a chipper welcome home throughout.
Well, hello again, here we go again, start the show again, hoping it was over, but you know that it'll never end. It's awful lonely in the cold that we've been living in, but now you're home, we're gonna hold you till the bitter end. So we got a few bugs, we got a few glitches, you know the best hugs, always leave a few stitches, pull a few plugs, gotta flip a few switches, but to get along, we just need a few fixes.
It captures the feeling of playing through the Fnaf VR minigames with familiar characters and places, while also getting a few glimpses of something strange and unfamiliar hiding beneath the surface. All the art is drawn by Stupendium as well, which is extremely impressive. Most of the time, the instrumental has a cheerful chiptune thing going on, which makes sense with Fnaf VR's game within a game thing. But when Glitchtrap takes over, we've suddenly got this low droning, which is kind of unsettling, but there's also a funky beat at the same time.
You're owning the code of your own autonomy, laugh at the traps you've been point to conquer me, nice headset, your sport to come for me, all that blood might find the property.
I knew about Fnaf for a lot of my life, but I was pretty late to actually properly joining the fandom. This is actually one of the first songs I listened to consistently, so even though it's not that old, I do have a little bit of nostalgia for it. It's a charming song with some great art and wordplay. A certified hood classic.
My first appearance in Pizzeria Simulator, and then again in Ultimate Custom Night, and I was hoping for some sort of token appearance in the VR title. Now that didn't happen, sadly, and I remember saying to my good friend Orville, I said, Orville, this is going to be an issue if I want a continued presence within the franchise. So we went out to get...
We're cursed!
It might seem odd to include a Curse of Dreadbear song on this list. It's a relatively small DLC for Fnaf VR with very few songs to its name. But consider Ruin, a free DLC for Security Breach with loads of songs made for it. It would be weird to have a song for Ruin, but not a song for the only paid DLC in the franchise. So I found a song alright. I found a song that's almost infectious. God, that was cheesy.
Sometimes I know what it's like to be alone, alone. I know you are trapped, lend me your hand. No one will know. I'll follow you into the dark. I wanna know the truth from the inside out.
I am so glad I managed to get a Vanny song on this list. The Vanny we saw in Security Breach, or very rarely saw in Security Breach, was possessed by Glitchtrap against her will. Gregory has to find and play 3 hidden arcade games to free her from Glitchtrap's control, because I guess that's how mind control works. But the Vanny seen in Curse of Dreadbear was very different from the direction the character ended up going. This version of Vanny was a follower, a reluctant one, but a follower, a worshipper of Glitchtrap. When she puts on the mask, her breathing slows. She's comforted.
Yes, I hear you. Yes, I have it. I made it myself. I think you would like it. No one suspects anything. It will be fun.
I find both versions interesting, and as much as I enjoy the Vanessa we have now,
Freddy! You're supposed to be on lockdown.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious to see how this original vision would have looked in practice. Follow You by NightCove the Fox is a testament to everything that worked about this version of Vanny. The song is fairly simple and repetitive, but it uses that as a strength, almost like a nursery rhyme. Out of every song I've talked about in either of these videos, this is definitely the most horror-leaning of them all. There are moments when it shifts tone really suddenly, which makes it feel really unpredictable, and there are these background vocals from Glitch Trap sometimes that I didn't even notice my first time listening. Kinda creepy. NightCove really embodies her character in a way you rarely see in these kinds of songs. How she changes her demeanor from a calm, faithful follower to a sadistic killer. NightCove actually has loads of great FNAF songs that I wish got more attention. Follow You is one of her older ones. Her talent has grown even more in the years since, and yet I still think this is one of her all-time best.
Let's get to it then.
I know I'll be ready when the day comes. If you give me this chance, I won't let you down.
Facebook says it's dealing with the largest security breach.
Betcha didn't expect to see Stupendium back so soon, huh? I may have been a little nostalgia biased with Back Together, but I can tell you for certain that A Pizza the Action is on this list on its own merits. This might be my favorite FNAF song full stop. Dream Your Dream and Left Behind are harsh competition, so I can't call it my favorite with full confidence, but you know you're about to see something special when the video starts with this.
Gregory, it looks like you are trapped here in the Pizzaplex until morning. To survive the night, you are going to need a kick-ass 80s action anthem.
That is the best Glam Rock Freddy impression I have ever heard, to the point that I seriously thought it was the official voice actor for a while until I looked it up. Bravo to @RambunctiousVA on Twitter for accidentally fooling me. Then the actual song starts and oh my god! It nails the vibe of an 80s action movie. Every Security Breach song tries to capture that 80s rock vibe, but this is one of the rare few that really mixes the 80s rock with the artist's unique style. Stupendium's usual wordplay is toned down just a little so as to not feel like rap. It still feels like a Stupendium song, just a different kind of Stupendium song. Everything about it is just awesome. Like, the word awesome is what comes to my mind when I think of it. And the video is impressive as well, with animation by Coda mixed with live action shots on an actual set. Like, they got a ball pit and everything. Heck yeah, we're cool, we're gonna kick some butt, yeah, I'm writing this part of the script in all caps, woo! And then the cherry on top of this phenomenal song is the Vincent Price homage at the end. Yet another scary, accurate impression, this time from Stupendium himself. Security Breach Ruin. A DLC I love, while also finding it to be the most overrated thing in the series. It's trying so hard to be the exact opposite of Security Breach, which is its greatest strength and biggest weakness. Sort of like FNAF 2 versus FNAF 3. Where Security Breach is colorful and brightly lit, which often makes it hard to find the environment scary, Ruin is muted and gritty. Security Breach is full of wide open places to explore at your leisure, while Ruin is much more focused on its story, which also makes it feel extremely linear and scripted. It would make sense that a good Ruin song would be the antithesis of a good Security Breach song, and that's one reason why I love Ruin Lullaby by CG5. A Pizza the Action is loud, it's bombastic, and that's why I love it so much, but Ruin Lullaby is more of a quiet, reflective song.
Behind the scenes, I miss the memories. I sing the cut that's done with red hot reality. My dread, no, I won't fear, just silly sad.
There's this ethereal magic to the way the sounds are edited. It reminds me of Dream Your Dream a little, which is a very high compliment. The animation is extremely impressive considering it was made just over 2 weeks after Ruin came out. CG5's vocal performance is great as always, and his singing combined with the composition and effects do a surprisingly good job of capturing the emotional core of Ruin.
No, I can't as much as she. For someone as blind as me. She was my only friend, but now she's history. Total eclipse of my vision. Ruined without persistence. Now she's lost in the distance. Blind me.
The chorus has a repetitive part to it, which gives it the feeling of a lullaby, which makes sense. The music box part at the bridge is haunting and a nice homage to Candy Cadet's story in Ruin. At the end, you notice another thing this song has in common with Ruin. The way it builds energy throughout. So by the final chorus, you're banging your head and rocking out. Come on, listen to this! A short and sweet song that proves just how overhated modern CG5 is. Go watch all of his videos.
Five Nights at Freddy's! How to? How to? How to? Oh my god! What? No!
Dude, why are there like 0 Help Wanted 2 songs? Like there are so few, it's bizarre. I guess it might have to do with the game having a lot less focus on story, combined with it being overshadowed by the release of Ruin and the movie just a few months before. Well, I think it's a darn shame that my second favorite Steelwolf FNAF game doesn't have a song to call its own. But this is my video, and I can bend the rules however I want. So I picked a song that was released somewhat close to Help Wanted 2, and is associated with the character in Help Wanted 2, but is technically not a Help Wanted 2 song. People who still think Glitch Trappist and the Mimic can go cry in a corner, because my favorite Help Wanted 2 song is Reflection by JT Music.
Like an acid, it's like a phenomenous in my robotic process. It's like the light in the party, but I'm the opposite. I look at the reflection and I'm one with it, just like the depth of any mirror. There is none to it.
JT must have been touched by some kind of divine intervention to come up with this idea. A Mimic song that markets and advertises itself as a Springtrap song. It's like the game, cause the Mimic pretends to be William Afton in the game. The song was actually one of the big things that sold me on the Mimic as the new antagonist of FNAF before Secret of the Mimic came out. I always found him to be an interesting concept, but he took a while to grow on me. I remember back when Ruin first came out, like, the new villain of FNAF is an endoskeleton. But this song, combined with actually reading the Tales from the Pizzaplex books, helped me fall in love with this murderous little goober. Reflection is the Mimic's villain song. Evil and malicious, while also hollow and robotic. It does have a little bit of that usual FNAF song, "Oh, I'm scary and I'm gonna kill you," but I think it suits the song well. This is one of the only FNAF songs I've ever heard that has rhymes twisty and clever enough to make Stupendium proud. And the vocal effects! They really sell the robotic feel. I've heard people say the voice effects make it hard to understand the lyrics, which is objectively true, but I don't really mind. That's why they put the lyrics to the bottom of the music video. It takes that griminess from 5 More Nights and cranks it up to 11. I couldn't imagine a more fitting sound for the Mimic. And every single shot in this animation is outstanding. It's one of the best FNAF animations I've ever seen. It even has book references, and not just easy references like Tiger Rock. Fairly deep cuts like the clothes hanger and the bloody fridge, referencing the Mimic's origin story and Tales from the Pizzaplex. The amount of time and effort put into this is staggering. At this point, I feel like I should just let this speak for itself.
Nobody bothers with screaming, cause I'm not gonna get stuck with us in here, just like we're stuffed in it. Because something amalgamous. I feel so sorry, count on all the promises. I know the list of them, it's so long, it's almost sort of like Santa Claus, but I don't come with this.
Just jaw-dropping stuff, man. One of my favorite songs I've talked about in this video.
Oh look! A ball pit! Into the pit!
I actually hadn't heard any Into the Pit songs before I started making this video. I mean, I heard Dako's song when it came out 4 years ago, but that was for the Into the Pit book, not the game, so it doesn't really count. So I started looking for different songs on YouTube, and I didn't have to look for very long.
Drop into the pit of nothing.
Okay, I'm using this one. Drop Into the Pit by TryHardNinja really jump scared me. I had fairly low expectations for this song. Not to throw shade to TryHardNinja, but he has a specific style that he sticks to pretty closely. But every now and then, this man puts out the most unexpected, unique, and even beautiful stuff. And this right here is one of those times. There's a little bit of that 80s vibe at the start. Not a macro dose, just a gentle reminder of where the pit leads. Some of the lyrics feel a little odd sometimes, but going back through these songs, most of them have slightly clunky lyrics, especially the old ones. I've just been used to them for so long I don't really notice. But once you get to that drop, it hits hard.
Drop into the pit of nothing. Nothing but despair. Welcome to the hole where nothing but agony is there.
BAM! Socks you in the face. I like the little clever lore references in the lyrics, like their fates play out on repeat and you're invited, and now step inside the shoes of missing children. Speaking of children, I really like the bridge with the kids' voices.
In this pain here with us.
Kinda gives me chills. On one hand, it feels a little reminiscent of TryHardNinja's older Fnaf music, especially Follow Me. It has a similar rock techno vibe. But on another hand, the production value is miles above anything I've seen from TryHardNinja. It feels very epic and climactic, which I don't think I've seen him attempt before. From what I know, this might be one of TryHardNinja's last Fnaf songs. And if it is, this is quite the way to go out. An underrated song for an underrated game.
Hi, my name is
Secret of Fucking Mimic.
Oh yeah!
So here we are at the end. After 13 songs across 2 videos, we've made it to the final song. It's been quite the journey, but I think I just might have saved the best for last. After I made part 1 of this video, I decided to wait to make part 2 after Secret of the Mimic came out. So when the game came out, I was instantly on the hunt for good songs. I listened to quite a few actually, and they were all great, but I knew the one I had to pick was the one that stuck in my head, not just because of how catchy it was, but because of how emotionally layered it was. Nah, I'm screwing around. As funny as it would be to talk about Jackie's Box for the next few hours, it's had its time in the spotlight, and I think the joke has gotten a little old by now. There's another song I want to talk about. A lot. This will be a lot longer than the other segments of this video. I have a lot to say about this song, and about Secret of the Mimic's story in general, so stay tuned.
You created a liar, a hollow face in the image of someone who could never be replaced.
You Created a Liar is a special song. It's made by Longestsoloever, a nerdcore musician who's been around for a few years from what I can tell, but has only come on my own radar recently. It's a pretty hardcore heavy metal song. It reminds me a bit of classic DA game songs from back in the day, but what really interests me about this song are the lyrics. This song truly and fully encapsulates the Mimic story. Of course it has the basics. The Mimic imitates what it sees, it's an allegory for cycles of abuse, blah blah blah. Interesting stuff, but stuff we've known about since the original Tales from the Pizzaplex books. But there are hints of something deeper, the new details, unique to Secret of the Mimic's version of the story. Particularly, references to the Mimic being Edwin's second son in a way.
The second son forsaken, I'm learning from the pain, the innocence you've taken, their deaths are yours to blame.
Now, in order to really dig deep into the meaning of this song and what I love about it, I'll have to discuss Secret of the Mimic's endings. Since the game is still somewhat new, you can skip to this timestamp to avoid spoilers for one of the best moments in the entire Fnaf franchise. You gone? Okay, now for everyone who either knows the endings already or doesn't care, I'd like to unpack the most interesting lyrics in this song. First, the actual chorus of the song, which is also the title. You created a liar. This of course has its surface level meaning. The Mimic, or M2, hides its appearance and takes on the personality of other mascots. And Fiona, or M1, pretends to be the dispatch guy and tricks the player into giving her executive level access so she can stop M2. Edwin created M1 and M2 to lie, to convince him that his family was perfect and that nothing had changed, to tell him his wife wasn't gone, to tell him his son wasn't gone.
You created a liar, a hollow face in the image of someone who could
Then there's the bridge, which has so much going on that I'd rather talk about the parts of the game it references before I actually play it for you. In the final section of the fire ending, in the Murray household, the player has to watch tapes to solve a number puzzle. These tapes also give us a look at the life of the Murray family before everything went wrong. Edwin Murray is portrayed as a neglectful father, often prioritizing his work in the pursuit of the approval of the masses over spending time with his wife and son.
This is the one! Bigger than the Cleanovac!
That's great, honey, but you're missing the party.
David's 2 years old. He won't remember a thing.
That's not the point. We have guests.
Besides, he's got plenty more birthdays. Next year will be even better.
It doesn't help that Edwin seems to have a difficult time understanding and empathizing with other people. Not to say that Edwin is unkind or incapable of feeling sympathy for people, but he has a hard time putting himself in another's shoes and understanding how his actions affect other people. Like how he doesn't let people in the boiler room clock out early. Why would they want to leave? Don't they love this place as much as him? And even after losing his wife, he still prioritizes what he views as carrying on his father's legacy over taking care of the only family he has left.
Mommy will always be here watching over us. You better start opening. There's a lot to open. I gotta get back to work.
That's why Edwin created M1, to be the parent he thought he couldn't be. When his son dies, M1 begs him to create a new one like her, another mimic. Without a child to take care of, M1 is just a machine with no purpose, and Edwin probably felt the same way. In the end, he was working to support his family, but now, what was the point? He didn't know what he had until it was gone. And so, M2 was born, to mimic his son, David. But something about it didn't sit right with him. This metal creation with his son's voice coming out of it. This wasn't his son. And this man who had nothing left, his father, his wife, his son, all gone, reached his breaking point. All of that anger at the world, at his creations, and most of all at himself, came out all at once.
Stop sounding like him!
And M2 did what it was programmed to do. Like an impressionable child, it watched, and it learned. Somehow, M2 causes an explosion in its creator's office, and as Edwin struggles on the ground, begging for help, M2 simply taunts him, turning his own voice and his own words against him.
I'm sorry, M2. I lost my temper. I was always gonna fix you. Please, call for help. Oh, can't right now, buddy. We can do something fun tomorrow. I promise. Ask your mom if she's not busy. M2, help.
This tragic, haunting story is what solidified Secret of the Mimic as, at least narratively speaking, my favorite game in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. And You Created a Liar by Longestsoloever does this story justice and then some. I'll be honest, I mostly use this as an excuse to gush about Secret of the Mimic's writing, but this part of the song perfectly captures what I love about this final scene. I'm made of what I observe, your life neglected in turn. I saw you say it all the same. Look what I learned. So, that's the end of the list. Out of the 7 songs I talked about today, I could never pick just one favorite, but A Piece of the Action, Reflection, and You Created a Liar were the biggest standouts in my book. I'm still fairly new to scripted content, and I'd be thankful for any feedback down in the comments. And while you're down there, tell me about some of your favorite FNAF songs. Doesn't even need to be something in this video, recommend me something. My name is Walnut, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!